Listen, have you ever looked at your calendar? It's jam packed, right? You've got strategy reviews, there's investor calls, there's one on ones back to back. Yet you feel like you're standing in wet cement. So super busy, but stuck, right? Maybe the metrics are green. The board's like, we love your vision, but you can't shake this sense that nothing's really moving. If that rings even the faintest bell, stick with me for the next few minutes. I'm JB Bolton. I'm an executive and business coach, and today we're untangling why high-level leaders, perhaps like you, get stuck. And more importantly, how to regain some momentum. So, listen, a few months ago, I was working with a leader. Let's call her Maya, right? And I open up our Google Meet, and there's like, oh my gosh, I'm working so hard, I'm exhausted, but nothing's moving. So, in Maya's case, revenue's growing at the company for multiple years. But there's like this product pivot that has Maya kind of frozen. So this is what organizational psychologist Adam Grant calls this escalation of commitment, which is this sense of doubling down on a decision, even when the evidence says, hey, it's time to pivot, right? And the higher you climb, the fewer people challenge your assumptions here, and the more ego you weld to really being right. So why do smart seasoned leaders like Maya end up spinning? If you're familiar with Daniel Pink's book, Drive, I love the work around motivation. And so there's a simple answer here, and that it's our motivational operating system kind of crashes whenever there are these three intrinsic needs that are short-circuited, and they are autonomy, mastery, and purpose. So when autonomy, mastery, and purpose are taken from you, that motivation crashes and it can leave you feeling stuck. So autonomy, the freedom to choose how you work. Mastery, obviously the drive to get better at what matters. And then purpose, right? The why, the conviction of the work that serves kind of that bigger purpose. So when leaders plateau, at least one of those three drives is unplugged or unhinged. Think about it. Autonomy erodes as the business grows, right? You get these processes in place, investors, directors, journalists, nibbling away at your decision-making space, right? Mastery, similarly, like as you get process maturity, it fades because the higher you sit, the less you tend to sit higher because you're getting this process maturity there. And then you start to lose the challenge, right? Plus, you're getting like less honest feedback. Frankly, the higher level. I mean, when you're junior leader, like you get too much feedback, right? Every boss over your head's got a little feedback for you. And then purpose obviously can get buried. Just when you're hustling, it can get buried under quarterly guidance and cost containment memos and all this stuff. So Pink has this quote that control leads to compliance and autonomy leads to engagement. So when control mushrooms, curiosity, shrinks. So neurologically, autonomy and mastery really light up the brain's dopamine reward circuits, and that purpose triggers some social circuitry there. So that makes those efforts or that motivation feel worthwhile. So hopefully that gives you some context into why it feels stuck. Okay, let's talk about what you can do about this. So for the next 5 workdays, for example, identify one recurring commitment that you can eliminate, delegate, or even shorten. So drop the Tuesday slide deck review, hand it to your VP, get a couple hours back to begin working on kind of the next thing. So reclaim autonomy. There are things that are moving well. Time to hand those things down to somebody else and free up some white space for you. Okay. What about mastery? Get curious here. Like, what are you curious about? What are you interested in learning more about? Pick a leadership capability that energizes you. Is it storytelling or deep listening? Maybe if you're a sales leader, maybe it's financial nuance. If you're thinking about CEO or you're building your business as an owner, maybe it's AI. Invest 10 focused minutes a day for 4 weeks, right? Set a little micro goal. just pick something to grow. Get like refresh, re-energize the part of you that loves learning, and re-engage this desire for mastery. And then, to reconnect your purpose, one idea for you might be story mining. So block 45 minutes and go interview 3 frontline employees or customers. When did our product or service, make a real difference for you, right? Capture the stories. Use something like, a recorder on your phone, because you can grab a transcript from that, and that way you've got it verbatim, and you can just sit there and listen, and share one in your next all hands, or with your board, right? That purpose will crystallize fast when leaders hear impact in human voices and not dashboards. And so it might be time to just re-engage that storytelling, do some story mining, and personally, it can remind you of some of maybe that purpose that you've lost in that role. And then finally, you can re-anchor all 3 of those with just a personal operating rhythm. So let's say, every Sunday night, take a look at the coming week, label your autonomy, your mastery, or your purpose, right? And if you can't label your calendar with one of those, then maybe redesign it or ask why it's on there. If you find the majority of your calendars, you can't identify whether that is aligned with autonomy, mastery, or purpose, you may have some significant changes to make. And I think you could potentially unlock a lot of energy there. So here's your challenge, right? Just carve out 90 minutes this week to run the stop doing sprint, right? Where we're going to kind of delegate. Schedule your deliberate 10s, which is your mastery. Like, what do you want to study? Like, let's re-engage the learning, and then hold just one story mining call. Go put it on the calendar right now before something else claims the space, and watch what happens to that stuck feeling. Most people who take this action are going to report an energy shift within the next 10 days, right? Listen, if this works for you, drop me a note right here, or hit me up on boltonco.net. Tell me what you cut, what you practice, whose story reignited your purpose. Remember, growth isn't about adding more. We're working here to restore what matters. And in this case, for you as a high-level leader, that's autonomy, that's your mastery, and that's your purpose, so that you can lead forward. I'm JB Bolton. Let's get you unstuck and back to building the future your people are counting on. Talk soon.